Hello, dear students. Welcome to Neetshala, and this is your host Suyashi Vineet. We are back with the second part, Cell, the Unit of Life. Now, here we are going to start with the eukaryotic cell. The eukaryotes include all the protists, plants, animals, and fungi. In eukaryotic cells, there is an extensive compartmentalization of cytoplasm through the presence of membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotic cells possess an organized nucleus with nuclear envelope. In addition, eukaryotic cells have a variety of complex locomotory and cytoskeletal structures. Their genetic material is organized into chromosomes. All eukaryotic cells are not identical. Plants and animal cells are different as the former possess cell wall, plastids, and a large vacuole. I repeat, plants and animal cells are different as the former possess cell walls, plastids, and a large central vacuole which are absent in animal cells. On the other hand, animal cells have centrioles which are absent in almost all the plant cells. This is the diagram you can see. This is the diagram of a typical plant cell, and below is the diagram of a typical animal cell. In plant cells you can see large central vacuole. Let us now look at individual cell organelles to understand their structure and function. 8.5.1 Cell membrane. The detailed structure of the membrane was studied only after the advent of electron microscope in the 1950s. I repeat, the detailed structure of membrane was studied only after the advent of electron microscope in the 1950s. Meanwhile, chemical studies on the cell membrane, especially in the human red blood cells, enabled the scientists to deduce the possible structure of plasma membrane. These studies showed that the cell membrane is composed of lipids that are arranged in a bilayer. Also, the lipids are arranged within the membrane with polar head towards the outer side and the hydrophobic tail towards the inner part. This ensures that the non-polar tail of the saturated hydrocarbon is protected from the aqueous environment. The lipid component of the membrane mainly consists of phosphoglycerides. Later, biochemical investigations clearly revealed that the cell membrane also possesses proteins and carbohydrates. The ratio of protein and lipids varies considerably in different cell types. In human beings, the membrane of erythrocyte has approximately 52% protein and 40% lipids. Depending on the ease of extraction, membrane proteins can be classified as integral or peripheral protein. Peripheral protein lie on the surface of membrane, while the integral protein are partially or totally buried in the membrane. You can see this diagram, fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. You can see sugar, proteins, and the lipid bilayer, and obviously the integral protein. Cholesterol is also shown in this figure 8.4. Okay, now an improved model of this structure of the cell membrane was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in 1972, widely accepted as fluid mosaic model. According to this, the quasi-fluid nature of lipid enables lateral movement of proteins within the overall bilayer. This ability to move within the membrane is measured as fluidity. The fluid nature of membrane is also important from the point of view of functions like cell growth, formation of intercellular junctions, secretion, endocytosis, cell division, etc. One of the most important functions of plasma membrane is the transport of molecules across it. The membrane is selectively permeable to some molecules present on either side of it. Many molecules can move briefly across the membrane without requirement of energy, and this is called passive transport. Neutral solutes may move across the membrane by the process of simple diffusion along the concentration gradient, that is, from higher concentration to the lower concentration. Water may also move across this membrane from higher to lower concentration. Movement of water by diffusion is called osmosis. I'll repeat this sentence once again. Movement of water by diffusion is called osmosis. As the polar molecules cannot pass through the non-polar lipid bilayer, they require a carrier protein of the membrane to facilitate their transport across the membrane. A few ions or molecules are transported across the membrane against their concentration gradient, that is, from lower side to the higher concentration. Such a transport is an energy-dependent process in which ATP is utilized and is called active transport. Example, sodium-potassium pump. 8.5.2 Cell wall. As you may recall, a non-living rigid structure called the cell wall forms an outer covering for the plasma membrane of fungi and plants. Cell wall not only gives shape to the cell and protects the cell from mechanical damage and infection, it also helps in cell-to-cell interaction and provides a barrier to undesirable macromolecules. Algae have the cell wall made of cellulose, galactans, mannans, and minerals like calcium carbonate, while in other plants it consists of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin, and proteins. The cell wall of young plant cell, the primary wall, is capable of growth which gradually diminishes as the cell matures, and the secondary wall is formed on the inner towards membrane side of the cell. Now the middle lamella is a layer of calcium pectate which holds or glues the different neighboring cells together. The cell wall and middle lamella may be traversed by plasmodesmata which connect the cytoplasm of neighboring cells. 8.5.3 Endomembrane system. While each of the membranous organelles is distinct in terms of structure and function, many of these are considered together as an endomembrane system because their functions are coordinated. The endomembrane system includes endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes and vacuoles. Since the function of mitochondria, chloroplast and peroxisomes are not coordinated with the above components, these are not considered as a part of endomembrane system. 8.5.3.1 The endoplasmic reticulum. Electron microscopic studies of eukaryotic cells reveal the presence of a network or reticulum of tiny tubular structures scattered in the cytoplasm that is called the endoplasmic reticulum. Hence, endoplasmic reticulum divides the intracellular space into two distinct components, that is, luminal inside endoplasmic reticulum and extraluminal cytoplasm components. The endoplasmic reticulum often shows ribosomes attached to their outer surface. The endoplasmic reticulum bearing ribosomes on their surface is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. In the absence of ribosomes, they appear smooth and are called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. You can see the diagram here, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and this is the ribosome, and this is the figure 8.5 endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is frequently observed in the cells actively involved in protein synthesis and secretion. I repeat, rough endoplasmic reticulum is frequently observed in the cells actively involved in protein synthesis and secretion. They are extensive and continuous with the outer membrane of nucleus. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is the major site for synthesis of lipid. In animal cells, lipid-like steroidal hormones are synthesized in smooth endoplasmic reticulum. 8.5.3.2 Golgi apparatus and figure 8.6, you can check the cisternae in the diagram. This is Golgi apparatus. Camillo Golgi, 1898, first observed densely stained reticular structures near the nucleus. These were later named Golgi bodies after him. They consist of many flat, disc-shaped sacs or cisternae of 0.5 to 0.21 mm diameter. These are stacked parallel to each other. Varied number of cisternae are present in Golgi complex. The Golgi cisternae are concentrically arranged near the nucleus with the distinct convex cis or the forming phase and concave trans or the maturing phase. The cis and the trans phases of the organelle are entirely different but interconnected. The Golgi apparatus principally performs the function of packaging materials to be delivered either to the intracellular targets or secreted outside the cell. Materials to be packaged in the form of vesicles from the endoplasmic reticulum fuse with the cis phase of the Golgi apparatus and move towards the maturing phase. This explains why Golgi apparatus remains in close association with the endoplasmic reticulum. A number of protein synthesis by ribosomes on endoplasmic reticulum are modified in the cisternae of Golgi apparatus before they are released from their trans phase. Golgi apparatus is the most important site of formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids. 8.5.3.3 Lysosomes. These are the membrane-bound vesicular structures formed by the process of packaging in the Golgi apparatus. The isolated lysosomal vesicles have been found to be very rich in almost all types of hydrolytic enzymes, hydrolases such as lipases, proteases, carbohydrases, optimally active at the acidic pH. These enzymes are capable of digesting carbohydrates, proteins, lipids and nucleic acids. 8.5.3.4 Vacuoles. The vacuole is the membrane-bound space found in the cytoplasm. It contains water, sap, excretory product and other materials not useful for the cell. The vacuole is bound by a single membrane called tonoplast. In plant cells, the vacuole can occupy up to 90% of the volume of cell. In plants, the tonoplast facilitates the transport of a number of ions and other materials against concentration gradient into the vacuole. Hence, their concentration is significantly higher in the vacuole than in the cytoplasm. In amoeba, the contractile vacuole is important for excretion. In many cells, as in protist, food vacuole are formed by engulfing the food particle. Mitochondria. 8.5.4 Mitochondria. Mitochondria, singular mitochondrion, unless specifically stained, are not easily visible under the microscope. The number of mitochondria per cell is variable depending on physiological activity of the cell. In terms of shape and size also, considerable degree of variability is observed. Typically, it is sausage-shaped or cylindrical, having a diameter of 0.2 to 0.1 μm, average 0.5 μm, and length of 1 to 4.1 μm. Each mitochondria is a double membrane bound structure with the outer membrane and inner membrane. You can see figure 8.7, structure of mitochondria. This is the longitudinal section, outer membrane, inner membrane, matrix, intermembrane space, and crista. So the mitochondria has double membrane, outer membrane, and the inner membrane, dividing its lumen distinctly into two aqueous compartments, that is the outer compartment and inner compartment. The inner compartment is called matrix. The outer membrane forms the continuous limiting boundary of the organelle. The inner membrane forms a number of infoldings called crista, singular crista, towards the matrix. The cristae increase the surface area. The two membranes have their own specific enzymes associated with the mitochondrial function. Mitochondria are the sites of aerobic respiration. They produce cellular energy in the form of ATP, hence are called powerhouse of the cell. The matrix also possesses singular circular DNA molecule, a few RNA molecules, ribosome 70S type, and the components required for the synthesis of proteins. The mitochondria divide by fission. 8.5.5 Plastids. The plastids are found in all plant cells and in euglenoids. These are easily observed under microscope as they are large. They bear some specific pigments, thus imparting specific colors to the plants. Based on the type of pigments, plastids can be classified into chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. The chloroplast contain chlorophyll and carotenoid pigments which are responsible for trapping light energy essential for photosynthesis. In the chromoplast, fat-soluble carotenoid pigments like carotene, xanthophylls, and others are present. This gives the part of a plant a yellow, orange, or red color. I'll repeat this paragraph once again. The chloroplast contain chlorophyll and carotenoid pigments which are responsible for trapping light energy essential for photosynthesis. In the chromoplast, fat-soluble carotenoid pigments like carotene, xanthophylls, and others are present. This gives the part of plant a yellow, orange, or red color. The leucoplasts are colorless plastids of varied shapes, sizes, which stored nutrients. A myeloplast stores carbohydrates, that is starch. Example, potato. Elaioplast stores oils and fats, whereas the aleuroplast stores proteins. This is the figure 8.8 sectional view of chloroplast, outer membrane, inner membrane, granum, thylakoid, stroma, lamellae. Majority of the chloroplast of the green plants are found in the mesophyll cells of leaves. These are lens-shaped, oval, spherical, discoid, or even ribbon-like organelles having a variable length of 5 to 10 mm and a width of 2 to 4 mm. Their number varies from 1 per cell of the Chlamydomonas, a green algae, to 20 to 40 per cell in the mesophyll. Like mitochondria, the chloroplasts are also double membrane bound. Of the two, inner chloroplast membrane is relatively less permeable. The space limited by inner membrane of the chloroplast is called stroma. A number of organized flattened membranous sacs called the thylakoids are present in stroma. Thylakoids are arranged in stacks like the piles of coins called grana, singular granum, or the integrinal thylakoid. In addition, there are flat membranous tubules called the stroma lamella. connecting the thylakoid of different grana. The membrane of thylakoid encloses a space called lumen. The stroma of chloroplast contains enzymes required for synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins. It also contains small double-stranded circular DNA molecules and ribosomes. Chlorophyll pigments are present in the thylakoids. The ribosomes of chloroplast are smaller 70s than the cytoplasmic ribosomes 80s. 8.5.6 Ribosomes. Ribosomes are the granular structures first observed under the electron microscope as dense particles by George Palade in 1953. These are composed of ribonucleic acid, RNA, and proteins and are not surrounded by any membrane. The eukaryotic ribosome are 80s, whereas the prokaryotic ribosomes are 70s. Here S stand for sedimentation coefficient. It is indirectly a measure of density and size. Both 70s and 80s ribosomes are composed of 2 units. 8.5.7 Cytoskeleton. An elaborate network of filamentous proteinaceous structure present in the cytoplasm is collectively referred to as cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton in a cell are involved in many functions such as mechanical support, motility, maintenance of the shape of cell. You can check this diagram. Now 8.5.8 Cilia and flagella. Cilia singular cilium and flagella singular flagellum are hair-like outgrowths of the cell membrane. Cilia are small structures which work like oars, causing the movement of either the cell or the surrounding fluid. Flagella are comparatively longer and responsible for cell movement. The prokaryotic bacteria also possess flagella, but they are structurally different from that of eukaryotic flagella. The electron microscope study of a cilium or the flagellum shows that they are covered with plasma membrane. Their core is called the axoneme, which poses a number of microtubules running parallel to the long axis. The axoneme usually has 9 pairs of doublets of radially arranged peripheral microtubules and a pair of centrally located microtubules. Such an arrangement of axonemal microtubule is referred to as 9 plus 2 array. The central tubule are connected by bridge and is also enclosed by central sheath, which is connected to one of the tubules of each peripheral doublets by a radial spoke. Thus, there are 9 radial spokes. The peripheral doublets are also interconnected by linkers. Both the cilium and flagellum emerge from centriole-like structure called the basal body. Now 8.5.9 Centrosome and centriole. Centrosome is an organelle usually containing 2 cylindrical structures called centrioles. The surrounded by amorphous pericentriolar material. Both the centriole in a centrosome lie perpendicular to each other, in which each has an organization like the cart wheel. They are made up of 9 evenly spaced peripheral fibrils of tubulin. Each of the peripheral fibril is a triplet. The adjacent triplets are also linked. The central part of centriole is also proteinaceous and called the hub, which is connected with tubules of the peripheral triplets by a radial spoke made of protein. The centriole from basal body of cilia or flagella and spindle fibers that give rise to spindle apparatus during cell division to animal cells. 8.5.10 Nucleus. Nucleus as a cell organelle was first discovered by Robert Brown as early as 1831. Later, the material of nucleus stained by basic dyes was given the name chromatin by Fleming. The interphase nucleus of a cell which is not dividing, has highly extended and elaborate nucleoprotein fibers called chromatin, nuclear matrix, and one or more spherical bodies called nucleoli, singular nucleolus. Electron microscopy has revealed that the nuclear envelope, which consists of two parallel membranes with a space between 10 to 50 nanometer called the perinuclear space, forms a barrier between the materials present inside the nucleus and that of the cytoplasm. The outer membrane usually remains continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum and also bears ribosomes on it. At a number of places, the nuclear envelope is interrupted by minute pores which are formed by fusion of two of its membrane. These nuclear pores are the passage through which movement of RNA and protein molecules takes place in both directions between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Normally, there is only one nuclear per cell. Variation in the number of nuclei are also frequently observed. Can you recollect names of organisms that have more than one nucleus per cell? Some mature cells even lack nucleus, example erythrocytes of many mammals and sieve tube cells of vascular plants. Would you consider these cells as living? The nucleus matrix or the nucleoplasm contains nucleolus and chromatin. The nucleoli are spherical structures present in the nucleoplasm. The content of nucleolus is continuous with the rest of the nucleoplasm as it is not a membrane bound structure. It is a site for active ribosomal RNA synthesis. Larger and more numerous nucleoli are present in cells actively carrying out protein synthesis. You may recall that the interphase nucleus has a loose and indistinct network of nucleoprotein fibers called chromatin. I repeat, you may recall that the interphase nucleus has a loose and indistinct network of nucleoprotein fibers called chromatin. But during different stages of cell division, cells show structured chromosomes in place of nucleolus. Cells show structured chromosomes in place of nucleus. Chromatin contains DNA and some basic proteins called histones, some non-histone proteins and also RNA. A single human cell has approximately 2-meter long thread of DNA distributed among its 23 pairs of chromosome. You will study the detail of DNA packaging in the form of chromosome in class 12th. Every chromosome essentially has a primary constriction or centromere on the sides of which disc-shaped structures called kinetochores are present. You can see in this figure kinetochore. Based on the position of centromere, the chromosomes can be classified into 4 types: the metacentric chromosome, the submetacentric chromosome, acrosome and telocentric chromosome. So these are the types of chromosomes. Now we will read about them. The metacentric chromosome has middle centromere forming 2 equal arms of the chromosome. The submetacentric chromosome has a centromere nearer to one of the end of chromosome, resulting into one shorter arm and one longer arm. But in case of acrocentric chromosome, the centromere is situated close to its end, forming one extremely short and one very long arm, whereas the telocentric chromosome has a terminal centromere. So you can check this diagram, figure 8.12, types of chromosomes based on the position of centromere. Sometimes a few chromosomes have non-staining secondary constrictions at a constant location. This gives the appearance of a small fragment called satellite and 8.5.1 microbodies. Many membrane-bound minute vesicles called microbodies that contain various enzymes are present in both plants and animal cells, and you can check out the summary. I'm reading the summary once, as I've got the request of students to, ma'am, please read the summary also. But before that, please do like the session of NEET Shala. All organisms are made of cells or aggregates of cells. Cells vary in their shape, size, and activities or functions based on the presence or absence of membrane bound nucleus and other organelles. Cells and hence organelles can be named as prokaryotic or eukaryotic. A typical eukaryotic cell consists of cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm. Plant cells have a cell wall outside the cell membrane. The plant membrane is selectively permeable and facilitates transport of several molecules. The endomembrane system includes endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, and vacuoles. All the cell organelles perform different but specific functions. Centromere and centriole form the basal body of cilia and flagella that facilitate locomotion. In animal cells, centrioles also form spindle apparatus during cell division. A nucleus contains nucleoli and chromatin network. It not only controls the activity of organelles but also plays a major role in heredity. Endoplasmic reticulum contains tubules or cisternae. They are of two types, rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum helps in transport of substances, synthesis of proteins, lipoproteins, and glycogen. The Golgi body is a membranous organelle composed of flattened sacs. The secretion of cells are packed in them and transported from cell. Lysosomes are single membrane structures containing enzymes for digestion of all types of macromolecules. Ribosomes are involved in protein synthesis. They occur freely in the cytoplasm or are associated with endoplasmic reticulum. Mitochondria help in oxidative phosphorylation and generation of adenosine triphosphate. They are bound by double membrane. The outer membrane is smooth and the inner one folds into several cristae. Plastids are pigments containing organelles found in plant cells only. In plant cells, chloroplasts are responsible for trapping light energy essential for photosynthesis. The grana in the plastid is the site of light reactions and the stroma of dark reactions. The green colored plastids are chloroplasts which contain chlorophyll, whereas the other colored plastids are chromoplasts which may contain pigments like keratin and xanthophylls. The nucleus is enclosed by nuclear envelope, a double membrane structure with nuclear pores. The inner membrane encloses the nucleoplasm and the chromatin material. Thus, the cell is the structural and functional unit of life. This was the story inside of cell. So you can imagine how powerful our cell is. And with that, we come to an end of this chapter. We will upload the upcoming chapters one by one. Stay tuned to Neet Shala. Please do like, share, subscribe, comment and share your love to Neet Shala. And do hear one chapter daily. This will help you a lot and that's the aim of Neet Shala. Thank you.